Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here and welcome back to another gaming video. Today, we're on the new, well not new, it's been out for a while, Madden 26 for my first time playing. And, more importantly, it's my first time ever attempting a season on All-Madden. Now, you might be asking why I'm using the Kansas City Chiefs.
With All-Madden.
And the reason for that is I decided I was going to go into this season going with a random team. I want to, at some point, see if I can win a Super Bowl with every team in Madden on All-Madden. And other than just picking the Patriots, which I thought was, for a video concept, kind of boring, I spun a wheel and decided which conference, got AFC, then decided which division, got the West, and then decided which team, and got the Chiefs. And I really wanted to respin, but I decided to go with the fate of the wheel. And I wasn't sure how All-Madden was going to go. We had our first game against the Chargers, and the second game against the Eagles. Which, frankly, going through this season, I didn't realize how difficult the dang Chiefs schedule was this year. They played a lot of very good teams. It also helps that they're in a division with the Broncos and the Chargers. So they have good teams that they have to play 4 times. But outside of that, I mean, they had the Eagles, they've got the Bills. A lot of good teams. And I was finding surprising success against the teams early on. Getting a win against the Chargers, a couple of touchdowns, and then sealing the deal with some field goals. And getting early leads against the Eagles as well. I was very confused. I couldn't defend for my life at this point. Just hoping that I could outscore the other team because my ability to play defense was awful. And then the Giants came around, and we got off to a very early 10-0 lead. And the confidence was through the roof. I thought I was going to go undefeated in this season. You know, get a bad team, we really start beating up on them, and then I started failing. I found what failure was like, and we couldn't beat the Giants, and that hurt. 14-10. What a miserable performance against a terrible team. Granted, they still had Russell Wilson playing, so I think that helped them a little bit. And then now I'm scared, because now we've got the Ravens. I just lost to the Giants. And it starts good. I did trade away Juju Smith-Schuster, by the way. That's why he does not appear in anything. This play was so annoying. I kind of forgot it existed, and then somebody did it against me. One of the teams did it against me. And I just started using it anytime I was a yard or less. And it's very successful. It's kind of broken, but so is the tush push. So you know what? It's realistic. 14-0 absolute domination over the Ravens. We move on to Jacksonville, who also have had another good year, but we do get off to a pretty darn good start.
It's our opening drive. How long did
But all I could manage for the rest of the game was field goals, so we got beat up by Trevor Lawrence. We then have the worst performance of the season against the Detroit Lions. I threw like 3 picks or something stupid. It didn't go well. Quickly move on to the Raiders. I wanted a bounce back game against a bad team. And man, is that not what I got. We had a string of bad games here. And really, really bad performances from myself. Throwing balls to places that, I don't know what the heck that is, by the way. That is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. Throwing balls into places that shouldn't be thrown. You know, we're still getting some touchdowns here. But it's just not enough.
Big, big, big.
Okay, apparently I'm an
Very
idiot.
cool.
I remembered this game wrong. I did beat the Raiders. It was enough. We move on to the Commanders. Maybe this is the game I was thinking of that was bad. It was getting towards the end of like a 6-hour stream, so I was getting a little tired and making some mistakes. Now, I did have a couple of goals. For the video's sake, I want to make the playoffs, because that's the title of the video. For the series' sake, I want to win the Super Bowl, but that doesn't necessarily have to happen in Season 1. I would like to have to only play one season with the Chiefs. That would make my life a lot simpler.
Point play, please.
But I think a cool thing, whenever you play Madden, is to outperform the real-life team. And that wasn't that hard when picking the Chiefs, even though they have such a high-rated team in Madden. So it actually made my life a little easy on goal number 1, which was outperforming this year's Chiefs. Granted, if I did make the playoffs, that does that anyway. So,
Beautiful.
we did crawl back here, but there was too many mistakes early. We got a touchdown. I'm still 3 points out. I did go for 2. It doesn't really matter. I'm still going to be losing. But the team put in some fight, you know. That's what you really want. If I could have been a little bit more useful earlier in the game. That was a horrible throw anyway. Great catch. Been a little bit more useful. We didn't convert the onside kick, so we just couldn't make it back. But we tried our best. Here's another one of the big name teams that I was talking about, the Bills. Look at this run. To end the half, I just wanted to run out the half. We couldn't score, and we get that. That was a beauty run, and it's what we needed, a momentum shifter.
Oh, thank you, Isaiah.
Right on top of that, to start out in the second half, get a drive that scores a touchdown. Just a really great way to double up in that game. And then we have to do this wonky, I've been iced field goal to win the game. And I hit it. This was terrifying. I couldn't aim this thing. I didn't know where my power was. But we nailed it. I think it's very helpful that I have Harrison Butker. I don't know if that's more difficult with a worse kicker. But that was a huge win. Taking down the Bills. We get a chance to really put a stamp on the division if we can beat
I was gonna say, is that
the Broncos. And man, snow game, not for me. I perform not well in the snow. It was tough. Really weren't able to run too much considering the snow. We did get a lead late in the game.
3.
But it just,
We needed to hit the.
we just weren't good. We blew it. And we had to go with a Hail Mary in the snow, which just really is never going to work. Couldn't quite get it to the end zone anyway. He would have had to run 15 extra yards. It just wasn't going to happen. So we do go down 20-17. Move on to the Colts, who I think this year would have had a great year. Had Daniel Jones not gone down, and Sauce Gardner. They had 2 really big injuries. And they were performing really well, top of their division, I believe, when Daniel Jones went down. But we get this huge run with Isaiah Pacheco, who doesn't have many touchdowns this year, but most of them are from like 50 yards out or more, which is just kind of weird. I find it, at All-Madden, the thing that's harder for me is running. I used to love the run game on like All-Pro and Pro. It is just generally more difficult to break a big run in All-Madden, which I feel like should be expected. But we get a win, 14-7 over the Colts, with that being the game-winning touchdown. And running is the way that I enjoy playing the game. The throwing is fine. That was a nasty juke. I haven't gotten many jukes to actually work. That one was nasty. But I just prefer running. but you do have to throw if you want to succeed in All-Madden.
Easy.
It's just not possible any other way. So when I do get to break a big run like that, that's so much more exciting than one of the pass plays. And this one does come down to a Hail Mary for the Cowboys, which it was terrifying because you kind of lost.
Get out of bounds.
That could have gotten caught. It landed in the end zone, but does not come down for anybody. So 20-14 victory. We move on to a Texans game, which started off horrendously, and a 4th down run, which honestly scared me so much. I feel like I either get it didn't matter, but I either get
that or the coin flip.
like 2 yards or I get like
Take coin
5.
flipping out of the game.
So 4th down is terrifying. We get a kick return, which just holes open up and people
Holy
actually
cow.
blocked in the second
Off
level,
to the races.
and he's just off
Take
to
off.
the races. This was awesome. I got one kick return for a touchdown all season, and it was huge. We just came off a loss. We needed something big to amp up my spirits personally, and this was a great way to start off a ball game. Jalen Royals as well has done not a lot. He came out a little bit more towards the end of the season because of injuries, but this kick return was awesome. I tried to mold how I return off of that in the future. Haven't really been able to replicate it, but getting that one's enough for me. An actual rushing touchdown here, not just a stupid QB sneak. But yeah, that kickoff was so much fun. My goodness. And then we have this play, which the Chargers apparently don't know how to defend because, well, they let me do this twice in the same game.
You get in.
So that was very kind of them. This is the first one. I'm pretty sure it goes to the same player both times as well.
Beautiful
Oh,
game.
no, it's the next game that I get to do the same exact thing. So that was very kind of both of these teams. We get a game against the Titans, which if we follow our method of beating good teams and losing to bad teams, we should lose this game. So that's great. That's always what you want. And we do. We successfully do that. We lose to a bad team, 17-7. And losing to all these bad teams makes the division race so much more interesting because we really have to try throughout the whole year to keep pace because we can't beat bad teams. And when you can't beat bad teams, you don't get a great record. And you got to keep beating good teams, which is just hard. This was a great diving catch out of nowhere.
And we get the ball to
I feel like you don't get to see your own players put in a lot of effort sometimes. So seeing a diving catch was really cool.
Nice diving catch as well. I can choose them. Oh, yeah. We just can't turn it over. Same play we got a touchdown on earlier, boys.
An absolute shootout in a divisional game. And this didn't set the division, but we really, really needed a win to have a chance at winning the division. And this was a great game, a great offensive performance, something we haven't done much of. And now all we have to do is beat the Raiders, and we are division champions. And we actually do it. It's not pretty, but we did it. And this gets us into the playoffs as division leaders. Our first matchup is against the New England Patriots, and that will be in a future video if you want to see more Madden. That is all I have for today's gaming video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Alright, now I want to look at the bracket. So we get the Pats going as the 4 seed.